Yeah, the Christian music guys. Make some noise for the Christian music guys.
Well, today we are diving into a powerful new film inspired by one of the most remarkable true stories in American history. Sarah's Oil comes out November the 7th. Joining us today is the film's producer, John Shepard, a man whose passion for storytelling and faith-driven projects has impacted audiences around the world. We're talking about the heart behind Sarah's Oil, the miraculous true events that inspired it, and how faith still fuels Hollywood today. John, thank you so much for chatting with me.
Thank you, Jake. Appreciate your time.
Yeah. So, what drew you to this row of Sarah's Oil and Sarah's incredible journey?
Well, you just said it. Faith still fuels Hollywood today. I mean, I work in this industry, and all of us who have a place in this on this planet will know what it is to have adversity and to overcome incredible odds and to have your dreams dashed or stomped on or discounted or to be discouraged or being offered to sell out cheap or for less. And you know what I loved about Sarah, she's a little girl with a dream. She's given what appears to be worthless land, 160 acres of unsuitable for anything, rock and lizard. But she listens to that land, and that land speaks to her. It's kind of like putting your ear to your gift and going, what do I have of value? And believing it, and then stepping into it and inspiring others to, I'm not going to sell out. I'm not going to give it up. I believe God gave it to me for a reason. That's what inspired me was, okay, I need that kind of faith in what I do. It's hard enough I don't know how people do it without faith, but it's just been a really incredibly inspirational journey for me personally.
Yeah. So the film is based on true events. How close were you guys to the to the extended story from the movie?
We, my director and I have worked on several true stories or inspired by or based on true story. It's incredibly important that we're as authentic as possible. Now, very little is known about Sarah Rector because this was turn of the century, 1910, 11, 12. She was only 10, 11 years old. But we found a wonderful book by a Princeton historian called Searching for Sarah Rector. She talked to the family. We did our homework. We did as much research as we could, newspapers and online. But at the end of the day, the truth is a little girl who, against all odds, followed a dream and pulled together different disparate people of all walks of life, from her Native American heritage, being a black freedman, to working with a white wildcatter who may or may not be a con man, played by Zachary Levi, and then oil men and the community and her fate. It just is an amazing story where we tried to stick as close as possible to what we knew about her, but so much isn't known. The testimony, though, was we showed the film to her family without their input during the making of it, and nervous as all get out how they'd respond. They loved it, and they said that's you've nailed it. That's our aunt. That's all. You've captured her spirit. And little Nia Desser Johnson just does an amazing job portraying Sarah, a girl who will not, she'll just not be denied. She won't take no for an answer. She does not give up. And I think that part of the story is very true, and I can relate to.
Yeah. Those are scary moments. We've talked to other filmmakers that do the true stories, and then the family sees them, and it's kind of like, okay, they're either going to hate it or they're going to love it. So those are tense moments.
It's a big risk, and it required, that's why this business we're in requires a lot of faith, because every step of the way we had to pray, even to the point where now we're marketing it, hoping people will go and bring their families and bring their kids and talk about it. But you just don't know. It's really, the spirit has to move. And we really prayed hard for that screening for the Rector family. And thank goodness they loved it. And now they've been promoting it. And we just had a big event in Kansas City where they all showed up. We had almost close to 100 relatives of Sarah's show up and just endorse and embrace Naya's portrayal of their great aunt and grandmother.
Now, you talked a little bit, or just a minute ago, about Zachary Levi. Can you tell us about the casting process? What were you looking for in the actor who played Sarah?
Well, it needed to be a complicated guy that's got many shades, and his ability to, you don't know whether this guy's a good guy or a bad guy. And maybe he doesn't at the beginning of the story. I had sent Zachary, who I knew just from being in a fellowship together years ago. I knew he was a fantastic actor. This is his best role yet. I'm not kidding you. He does the greatest performance. Maybe it's this little girl just brings it out in him, or maybe he's just getting better. But I sent him the script, and he said when he landed, because he got on a plane to read, he said, "You didn't know when I was getting on the plane, I was going to Tulsa, Oklahoma." And I was like, "What?" He goes, "Yeah, I want to do this movie." In fact, he was thinking of relocating to Oklahoma. So the whole thing really was, he was just the perfect guy. And I think when you see the movie, you'll understand he's complicated. He's wrestling with a lot, and I think it's what makes Zachary a really interesting actor is he's authentic. He does not want to be a poser, fake it, dial it in. He's really exploring the character and bringing all of his doubts and all of his struggles and all those complicated levels he just does a great job.
Yeah. Were there any moments in filming where you really saw God at hand and you were like, wow, we really are doing something incredible here, some incredible work? Was there anything like that, maybe even behind the scenes?
Every day, Jacob, every day it
Yeah.
was one of the most difficult projects, and I've shot all over the world in some very hostile areas. This was the most difficult. We had storms and weather. We had ticks and tornadoes. We had an internal division, external attack. I mean, the day one it rained for 2 or 3 hours before we could start, and the trucks were all stuck in the mud. And I'm like, okay, how? It can't get any worse than this. Well, every day it was something from the heat. Amazon MGM insisted we take a 10-minute break every hour. It was that hot. And we had horses and dogs and kids and carriages and old cars, and stuff would break. We showed up the last day of shooting to get into this 100-year-old building, authentic. The elevator broke. And I don't know if you know,
Mm,
staircases built around the turn of the century. They're not wide, and they're not prepared for crews, cast, equipment, furniture,
right.
set deck to go up. So every day was a big prayer, and God showed up again and again. And just when a cast member would fall out, you think, we just lost this great name actor. Somebody better come in. It was really just very conducive to a life of faith that drove us to our knees, quite honestly.
Yeah. So when people come see this film on the 7th, what kind of impact are you hoping this film will make on people?
Great question. So the film opens November 7th. We are praying that people will see it in community, that they'll come as a family, or they'll come as a group, or they'll come as a church. But what happens, I find, is perhaps you have a background, I think, as a pastor, perhaps,
Mm,
you think you're doing something good for other people, giving them a message they need to hear. And oftentimes God's saying, actually, no, John, you were the one who needed to get the message. And that's the story of this movie. I was hoping the world would hear this great message about bringing together disparate people that are of all walks in life and overcoming incredible adversity, not giving up. But I was the one who had my heart opened to realize it's not about having a hit movie or hitting a big gusher. It's about relationships. And Sarah has a very poignant conversation with Zach Burt in the movie about his soul. And at the end of the day, you realize, what is true prosperity? What are great riches? What is the oil that's spoken of in Sarah's oil? Is it the black ground stuff that comes out of the deep? Or is in the scriptures, it talks about oil as sometimes used for lamps. It's to light or fuel or for cooking or for hair or for feet, but it's also used for anointing. And I think that this is a movie that I pray people would come out feeling anointed for service, that they're covered in some of the oil that hits Sarah, and they are changed, because it's really about following and believing and listening to God's voice. You are of value. Your gifts are of value. The only sin is not to use them. Whatever you've been given, and she wasn't given much, and look what she did with it.
yeah, that's incredible. Well, Sarah's Oil will be out November 7th.
Mhm.
Where can people pick up their tickets if they would like to
Sure.
see the movie?
Sarah's Oil Film Inspires. Sarah's Oil Film Inspires. Now, if you forget that, just type in Sarah's Oil to Google and you'll find it, or your kids will help you find it. But it's opening in
Yeah.
about 2,000 theaters all over the country, and it's the MGM roar at the beginning with the lion, and Amazon and Wonders behind it, and Kingdom Stories behind it. And we just pray that folks would get behind it and make her name known, because I think it's a good, timely message for what our country's going through now, what it was going through then, And also, it will inspire you personally and your kids, I hope, and young people. And again, I always say this, anybody with a dream is a young person. So pursue and follow and listen to that dream that God gave you. Because I think this film could do something to give you a little kick in the backside like it did for me.
Yeah. Well, John, what else you have? Sarah's Oil releasing. What else are you working on coming out?
Well, since we're on prayer requests, I'd appreciate if you'd lift up my next movie, which is called In Search of Wonderful, which is the origin story of It's a Wonderful Life and how that became a movie.
Okay.
Great true story about a father-daughter and the dream of what would the world look like if you'd never been born, and how that became a movie with Jimmy Stewart. So that's a great Christmas movie. And anyway, I'm excited about that. I'm excited about Wonder. I'm excited about Kingdom Story and the privilege of working for Amazon MGM. They've just made this incredible opportunity possible. So
Oh, that's good. Well, Sarah's Oil out November 7th. Get your tickets right now. Thank you so much, John.
thank you. Appreciate you, Jacob.
Yeah.
Thanks for the time.
They're the Christian music guys. Yeah, the Christian music guys.